The time is 10 o'clock Saturday morning, February 25th, and it's time to visit the eShop with Junkanoo 242.
The views expressed on this show, interview, or program are not necessarily the views expressed by the ZNS Radio Network and by extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Make sure you have your chat open so you can see when Ronald signals us for a break.
Okay.
Good morning, good morning. It's another Saturday morning, and you are in the eShop this morning. The sun is out, so there's no excuses. The contract is gonna dry this morning. Folks, if you're tuning in from our family of islands, or whether you're tuned in via Facebook or ZNS, a special good morning to you. Welcome to Junkanoo 242, the longest running cultural show in the Bahamas that talks everything culture, but especially highlighting Junkanoo. Good morning, Arlene. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. How's it going?
Arlene, I woke up. There's no clouds. There's nothing gray. That means the shop should be full. Everybody should be at least discussing what they doing for independence.
You're ready to go.
All right.
I hear ya.
So how was your week? You had a good week?
Morning.
Oh, Lord, it's the chairman.
Look who come.
Which chairman you talking about now? You know you got another chairman in here. Hey, no, ain't too used yet, so we gotta get him acclimated, you know?
You say chairman.
I gotta ask him if Guts let him come on the show.
You see? Chairman, I gotta keep them in line.
Are you serious?
Quick.
Arlene, can you get on of your show, please?
Yeah, man. Let's pray. Let's try to settle down the mission. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, for the gift of life, we give you thanks. For our nation, we pray for peace, progress, prosperity, and principle, recovery, and restoration. And for ourselves, we pray for wisdom to use your gifts wisely, especially the gift of Junkanoo, so that we may honor you, serve your people, build better communities, a better Bahamas, and a better world. Amen.
Amen. Proud to be Bahamian. What y'all got this morning, man?
Well, let me jump in quick and say that I am always so thrilled and honored when people meet you or recognize you in public and indicate that they are steady listeners to the show. And I want to say a very special good morning to Mr. Samuel Wright, whom I met in the laundry. He said he does not miss our show.
No.
In the laundry.
The laundry mat.
No, the laundry
mat.
No, I can't figure what she talking about. The laundry. What? In the laundry mat.
We don't say laundry mat. We just say wash house. Where you
in the wash house? You're right. The wash house.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
You all need to stop.
She pontificating this morning about the laundry.
And she always try to get on us talking about Bahamian dialect. She can talk about the laundry.
The wash house.
All need to stop. I was in the laundry picking up clothes already, wash and press.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
She was in the wash house picking up her laundry.
Yeah.
I need to stop. And I want to say a special good morning to my god sister, Desi McCartney, who also indicated that she listens faithfully. And we are very, very grateful to the both of you and to everyone who tunes in on a Saturday morning. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. That's my proud to be Bahamian moment.
Well, my proud to be Bahamian moment this morning is the 242 day yesterday. I think based on what I have seen, by all accounts, it seems to have been a success. I saw a lot of people in their flag colors, and I think it was a good, it was a good look for the most part.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that.
I think it's the start of a new tradition, and we probably need, well, I didn't hear anything about it before. And so I did not know what 242 day meant.
Right.
And somebody made the comment and then it fell into place, but I don't think it was explained enough, at least for everybody, because it's the 24th, the 24th, the 24th day of the second month. So it's 242. Right. And that is what we were celebrating, 242 day. It was just, I thought it was brilliant that somebody came up with that, you know, and it's a wonderful opportunity again to celebrate ourselves in our beautiful country. So I hope that it is the start of a tradition. Perhaps we can think of special things to do on that day, you know, by family or whatever. And we just put it on the calendar, and we just, that day is our day, the 24th of February.
242, yeah. You know, at least it's easier to do that than the 809 day.
Yeah, okay.
809 was before 242.
Yes. Yes. Gone, Darren, gone and forgotten.
And forgotten. Remember now, there was a time when the numbers didn't even have the prefixes. You just dialed the number.
5 numbers, yeah.
5 numbers.
And listen here, when we get that 242, we ain't get over that yet. I never see a set of people who's so thrilled with their area code. We just absolutely tickled pink over that 242.
Yeah, but there you have it.
I echo the same sentiments. The 242, I think it's another day for us to celebrate ourselves, and anytime we get an opportunity to show pride, you know, especially for ourselves, the Bahamian people, and to celebrate the country at large, I say kudos. Like Arlene says, let's develop it some more. Let's get some more public awareness out there, and let's get people in these colors, giving them a reason to, you know, to exhibit their pride outwardly as they even do it inwardly inside their home. So I echo those sentiments.
Amen.
Yep.
Well, folks, we have another exciting show. Trust me, you're gonna love this one. Arlene has some people that she's had some instrumental part in her life in up-grooming them. You know, people is only listening to the show for Arlene. Me and the other Darren, we just cheerleaders. You know,
speak for yourself, boss. Speak for yourself.
If you all don't worry about him, Arlene. If you all still want to book her for a speaking engagement, you know, you can just call me and we can have this. We can have this happening. But what we're going to do is we're going to run to our first break, and when we get back, we're going to formally introduce our show, get right into it, give you guys another exciting Saturday, and show you the new information that's happening in the Junkanoo world. You're tuning into Junkanoo 242. We'll be right back.
What you hear on this radio station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722, or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
From the Junkanoo archives on the Junkanoo timeline, the year was 1801. Ira Reid tells us that a Junkanoo king was a fixture in the Bahamas. This is the earliest reference to Junkanoo in the Bahamas, another important notch on the Junkanoo timeline.
1801?
Arlene, you're still muted. 1801 is the year here.
Who was John Reed? You know?
Ira Reid.
Ira Reid. Who was that?
Arlene can tell us right now.
I'll find out for you. I'm not sure right off the top of my head, but I will find it out for you. But that is the first time in Bahamian history that we hear about Junkanoo, 1801.
Wow. Powerful.
And it says that a Junkanoo king was a fixture in the Bahamas. So we know for sure that this was going on long before that.
Ira Reid.
Yes. We'll research who he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The whistle blow. We are lined up and we're ready for this segment of our show. This is the rollover. And this morning, we are so excited and we are so honored to have two very special guests in the E-Shack with us. We heard that some days ago, or maybe weeks ago, the Roots Junkanoo group had elections. That in and of itself was exciting. And this morning, we are going to hear it from the horse's mouth. We have two distinguished representatives of Roots Junkanoo Group in the E-Shack with us. And we are going to ask them to introduce themselves, and then we will dive right in. Let's start with the young man in the green shirt.
Good morning, 242. Good morning, Bahamas. My name is Duane Ellis. My name is Duane Ellis to the Junkanoo world, the Bear.
The Bear. 2
weeks ago, Roots would have had its one man, one woman vote process to elect the new ESB and the new leaders of the group. And as of 2 Saturdays ago, I have been elected as the chairman of the Roots Junkanoo group for the next 3 years.
Yay!
Congratulations, Duane, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
You know, now I gotta get on you. Where you borrowed this St. John's College green shade from? You ain't been to St. John's College.
Listen to me.
We don't own you.
This is a multi-purpose shirt.
Let me hear this now.
One is for the representing St. John's, who would have had Mardi Gras last Saturday.
Yeah.
And the second one is to represent the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money that's coming to Junkanoo. Not only the Roots, but it's coming to Junkanoo. Remember I said it first, Darren. I won't get into details. We have a big plan for the Junkanoo world, and we can make some things happen in short order.
Just make sure, man, and I say this sincerely, just make sure that it is spread evenly across the Junkanoo world. Don't just keep all in Roots.
It's for everybody, man. Everybody will have a piece of this pie.
Excellent.
An equal share of pie now. Equal share.
I said no equal. I said a piece.
Before you go any further, I know I won't forget, but I do not want to forget to say a special good morning to your father. One of the distinct privileges I had as principal of St. John's College was having a cohort of daddies that was second to none, many of whom were on the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and the support they gave to the school was outstanding. And it is hard. I could never talk about my time at St. John's without talking about G. Michael Ellis. He was just a pillar of strength and support. And so Mr. Ellis, I want to say good morning to you before we go any further. First things first, and I hope you are well, sir.
Well, Ms. Ferguson, I will answer on his behalf. Based on what he always says, I think you're the only principal that ever was at St. John's. and then in his eyes, you're still the principal because he's still principal. So I appreciate that on his behalf.
Thank you. Thank you. Truly outstanding. Now, that's a role model for daddies. You couldn't be anything other than what you have turned out to be. You just don't have no choice, man.
No, I had too much choice. I couldn't do anything besides looking like the fella, even get the shape and all now. So I still can't look it.
Yeah. And who is this other handsome young man that you brought with you who looks vaguely familiar?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Quinton Bones Brennen, and in the Junkanoo world, I'm known as Q. And I too, like Darren is trying to. Darren, I'm not wearing red because I represent the big red machine. That's just the only root shirt I could have found this morning. But I want to know that I am a part of the St. John's College under the distinct tutelage of Miss Ollie Nash Ferguson some years ago. So really a pleasure to be here this morning. And like Bill would have said, we had our elections about 2 Saturdays ago, and I was elected deputy chairperson. So
that is wonderful. Congratulations. So Duane is the chair and you are the deputy chair.
Yes, I am.
Oh man, congratulations. That's wonderful. I didn't realize that. Oh boy. So let's get right
into it. That must be a trivia question too now. I mean, one school holding 2 stadium positions. One in the chair and one holding the chair.
Listen here. If you really want to go deep now, you see, you to say these things just cause me to remember things. If you really want to go deep now, remember now, Roots was started by Paul Knowles.
Thank you.
From the class of 1967.
Thank you.
So,
all right.
Here may be another question. Mm-hmm. Which high school had the most chairman in Junkanoo thus far? St. John's got to be higher than that.
Yeah. There was 3 St. John's students founded the Vikings in the 60s. And then Gus Cooper was still a student in St. John's when he started the Valley Boys. And then in the Saxons, we had Slimy Thompson.
Oh, wow.
And yes, Slimy was a year or 2 ahead of me in St. John's. And that's just what I remember off the top of my head. So yes, it's quite a distinguished record, and it'll be interesting to break it down by school and see how it pans out.
Yep. St. John's deep in the money, I can tell you that.
Deep, show me the money. Deep in the money. Yeah. And so, gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to have you here this morning, and we congratulate you. Hey.
I think you left Darren out.
Darren Edward Bastian?
Yeah.
and notice he on his best behavior, he even ain't pokey Seth in there. Darren Edward Bastian, the former chairman of One Family. Absolutely, chief cook and bottle washer. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we covered all the bases, eh?
Yep.
All right, sounds like a plan to me. But gentlemen, it is truly a pleasure to have you here, and we congratulate you once again. Now, we have so many questions. Let's begin at the very beginning. We started to talk a little bit about the history of Roots when I mentioned Paul. Do you know right off the top of your head when your group started and why? Let's just briefly talk about Roots history. Then we want to hear your personal Junkanoo story as well as Quinton's.
I'll do mine quickly. Roots started in 1991. There were a group of friends who were part of the Valley Boys, led by Paul Knowles. You got a Diamond. Then you have our outgoing chairman, Wendell Guts Francis. You have a Drips. You have a Barabbas. And quite a number of other persons who would have a Chinese who would have decided that, they thought it was time to go and start a group of their own. So they met. They came up with the name Roots. And as of 1991, Roots was here. We've had a number of chairmen, like I said, over the years. And before I go any further, I just want to say special thanks to Wendell Guts Francis, who was the chairman for the last 9 years.
Wow.
And we always say to him, he kind of took us from the point of pretenders to being contenders on Bay Street.
Wow.
We have grown over the last 9 years. And if you can even look back at the way we do the elections with the one man, one woman vote kind of thing. So it kind of involves everybody in the process. And then for myself, I would have started Junkanoo at the age of 16. I started off in the Music Makers under the guidance of Uncle Donald Ellis, known as Jammer. Also now the current parade Grand Marshal, we would have started together. Dwight Wool, he's my first cousin. He would have started in the brass of the Music Makers. At that time, Darren and I was the bella, but I didn't know what bellas were. But you know, bellas like what they have now. So it took me about 7, 8 years. After working at the Public Treasury in 1991, I would have met Paul Knowles coming in as a young aspiring lawyer to have some documents recorded. And he approached some of us and asked that we would join them as he started his new group. There were about 10 of us out of the Public Treasury, included like a Shelley Sweeting, a Dawn Hanna, Laguma Seafood, and some others who decided that we would have joined Junkanoo Group. And I've been a part of the group from 1991. Like I told them, I think I worked my way up to the top. I started off as a costume toter. Then I went into free dancing. And then I moved up the ranks under the ESB. I was firstly invited by Les Johnson. Served as the assistant secretary. 1 year I was the parade manager. 2 years I served as assistant backline coordinator. And for 9 years I served as director of finance. 3 years as the deputy leader, and now as the leader. So I think I would have seen Roots at its lows and Roots at some of its highs. And then we are here now along with Quinton and the other members of the ESB to kind of take it to the next level.
Congratulations. That is quite a distinguished record. And you certainly moved your way right up through the ranks and well deserved. Congratulations. Wow. And so, Quinton, tell us about your story.
You know, my story is not as vibrant as Bear would have mentioned. You know, Bear, you know, that story there is absolutely amazing. But for me, a little boy back in 1992, somewhere around there, and even prior to that, I was one of those little boys right through Farrington Road, messing around with Barabbas at that time. And we all were Valley boys at that point. Shortly after that, we're talking about the late 80s now, going into the early 90s now. And we were part of that team that say, okay, you know, Valley boys. And now Barabbas and Paul Knowles and that group there decided to start this group called The Roots. So we all made that transition also from Valley Boys to then Roots. And I've been with Roots ever since 91, 92, around there. And just always that of just a free dancer. Didn't want too much more out of Junkanoo other than just being a free dancer. Then I graduated from being a free dancer to carrying small off the shoulders or jumpers as we know it to now full-time or full-size off the shoulder costumes. And Darren, yes, I placed third in the most recent Boxing Day parade with the in the off the shoulder category.
There is hope. There is hope. There is hope. There is hope.
Just want to put that in there, Darren.
Congratulations, my brother.
So, but never saw Junkanoo as taking that of more of an administration and the leadership of it, but was approached by Bear and some of the other members of the ESB, say, hey, you know what, we need you to take Junkanoo a little bit more and step up in this group, because I was that guy, just wanted to always be behind the scenes and support, give the group my full support, but more of in a private manner, private support, but was thrusted to the forefront with, again, like Bear would have mentioned, our outgoing chairman, Mr. Wendell Guts Francis, and a few other members saying, hey, you know, we need you to step up your role here because we think you can be good for the forefront. And here I am as a newly elected deputy chairperson and not discounting what all of the previous leaders would have done, because I think they would have done something absolutely amazing for us. But we are now here to kind of stand on the shoulders of what they have done and take this to the next level. So, Darren, we're here to win.
That's good.
All right, let them know.
We're here to win.
What a lot of people seem to discount is that in my mind, every group of leaders ought to push a group forward. So where you stand now, as you indicated, is really a result of what would have been done by the leadership in the past.
Yeah,
and that's not just groups, that's in my mind, that's in every group. Because if it wasn't for your former, you wouldn't be where you are now.
Absolutely.
You always have to give kudos as well, you know?
Yeah, excellent.
I'm glad you guys are looking to win. I am very pleased with that, because
Darren, hold on, Darren. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said we are here to win.
You're here to win. Okay.
Yeah, you ain't looking.
No, don't misconstrue the word. You ain't looking to it.
We ain't looking. Don't
I tell you what. I can see it all win today.
So listen here, before we get into the downhill portion of the show, Duane, tell us, give us the names of the entire newly elected administration, please, so that we can recognize and pay tribute to all of them.
Okay, besides myself and Q, the Director of Finance would be Ann Johnson.
Oh, a female. Let's hear it for the girls.
Yeah.
The group secretary is Nikira Brennan.
Oh, gee, what's going on here?
PR is Kyle. Kyle is our PR director. Kendrick Froggy Ferguson, he is the costume director.
Oh, we know Froggy, Darren.
Backline leader, Wesley Sandy Miller. The assets manager is Jason Rodriguez.
Ah, Jason, yeah.
What have I left out? Anybody? Our business manager, our business director is Mr. Andrew Edwards.
All right. Do you have a chief?
Stefano the Iron Man Thompson.
All right. Sounds like a very powerful team.
Done correctly. And also we have Keisha Johnson, who is the leader of our Showtime section. As a matter of fact, on this weekend, we are having another election for all of the additional positions in terms of the backline going forward. So, Ms. Ferguson, what we decided to do was not just select persons, but allow persons in different categories, in different areas of the group to elect those persons in all of the positions. So at the end of the day, they can all say that they had a hand in what's happening.
Beautiful. And so your let's talk about your administrative structure, because this is fascinating. If I recall correctly, when Roots was formed in 1991, Roots was the first group to really break away from the traditional ultimate leader kind of concept that groups before up to that point had been following. So if I remember correctly, Roots opted for 4 leaders.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you had Paul, you had who? You had Les, you had Peter, and you had Barabbas?
Yes, ma'am, basically.
Okay. And so 4 people are running the group at the top, of course, with all of the attending support. Now, at what point did you all, I'm trying to figure out how you got from that to becoming the democratic role model that you are today, where everybody in the group votes. How did that journey happen?
I think initially when it was formed on the basis that they didn't want a clear-cut leader, so everybody had a division of the group that they were responsible for in terms of the administration. Some people were responsible for costuming. Barabbas would have been responsible for the back line. Paul was responsible for the day-to-day operation in terms of getting persons in. And I think over a period of time, they realized that that concept may not have worked for a Junkanoo group as such. So after that we have had just individual chairpersons or leaders. And the one man, one vote kind of thing just took precedence over the, I guess, leadership by committee.
So how many general elections, I got to call them, how many general elections has Roots had up to this point? Like, when did this new concept come into place that everybody is voting for the leaders?
This would have been our fourth one, and we have elections every 3 years. It sounds like
right?
But this was the fourth. This was the fourth time that we had the ballot process where you'd come in and you get your ballot paper and you go into the ballot box and you tick your X and we did the count. And I can tell you, in terms of the leadership, it was close. I won by 16, so we did it like a general election. We had a recount.
Count it again.
Count it again, man.
Count it again.
We started at 11 o'clock and the recount ended probably about 10 o'clock that night.
10 o'clock that night, yeah.
Whoa.
Really mode. And, I just want to say kudos to everybody that ran. There are no winners and there are no losers, because at the end of the day, we just need to clean the slate, forget about what happened in the past, hold on, so let's go forward. Yeah. And like Q says, we are going to win some parades.
Yeah.
So who gets the vote? Do I have to be a financial?
That's my question.
A financial member, or I rush with Roots, but then I'm not financial?
No, you have you would have had to have participated in at least a year or two with the group, whether it was on Bay Street, whether you assisted with pasting costumes, whether you were a builder, what have you. But the key to that is you have to be financial.
So you have to be financial.
Non-financial members cannot vote. You have no vote if you're not financial.
So what does it take for me to be financial? Because I come out to practice, buy a couple of days. Does that make me financial?
No, you fill out the application. It's processed by the ESB. Then we present you with your figure. It's our fee is small. The ESB, we give $50 as ESB members, and we just charge $20 for membership for the regular group. And
$20 per annum every year?
Annually, yes, once a year.
Nice.
So $20 as a regular sitting member, that's my dues for the year. But if I'm on the executive board, then I pay $50.
Yes.
All right, that's good. All right.
Folks, we're learning about the administration of Roots, how other people are doing, and some things that are working for them, introducing their new chairman and deputy chairman. We're going to run to our first break, and when we get back, we're going to further dive into this administration. But along as what are some sites that are Roots hoping to achieve under this new administration? We'll be right back. You tune into Junkanoo 242.
Respect the sign. When vehicles without an accessible parking permit use a parking space designated for persons with disabilities, even for just a minute, that's 60 seconds too long. The abuse of accessible parking spaces is a daily frustration for persons with disabilities. It is inconsiderate, insensitive, and hinders persons with disabilities from effectively conducting business and actively participating in community life. Never park in a space reserved for people with disabilities unless you have a permit to do so. It is the right and respectful thing to do. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, a unit in the Ministry of Social Services and Community Development. For more information, visit www.disabilitiescommissionbahamas.org.
The Princess Margaret Hospital Blood Bank is in urgent need of blood donations of all types. Blood bank hours of operation are as follows: Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The last donor will be accepted at 4:30 p.m. On Sundays, the blood bank is closed. Identification needed for donation include your NIB card or driver's license. Do not attempt to donate if you are sick or experiencing respiratory symptoms. Do not come to the blood bank in large groups, as we will be accommodating 3 persons at a time. For more information on how you can become a blood donor or instructions on what to do before coming to donate blood, please contact the blood bank at 502-7822.
From the Junkanoo Library, filed under R for religion. Did you know that in traditional West African religious culture, there's no separation between sacred and the secular? Everything was sacred, life in general. Their rituals and ceremonies were therefore spiritual in nature. And when they recreated them in the Bahamas, in what we know today, known as Junkanoo, the same applied. Our Junkanoo, deeply powerful, and we're so proud of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The whistle blow. We are lined up and we are ready for this segment of our show. This is our first lap. And this morning we are having a fascinating conversation with the new chairman and deputy chairman of the Roots Junkanoo Group. It is quite an eye-opener. Duane Ellis and Quinton Brennen. And if you want to jump into the conversation early, because we just warming up, please join us. In New Providence, you may call us at 325-5403, 325-5404, 325-5405, and in our family of islands, 1242-300-8255. And of course, you can join us on the Junkanoo 242 Facebook page. But if you want to congratulate these young men or if you have a comment, now is the time. And so, gentlemen, let's get back into the discussion. We were having a wonderful this is such an eye-opener to hear how Roots is structured. So now, I want to get back to the elections because I'm fascinated by that. Did you all run in slates or did you run individually? Did you say to Quinton before the election, I want you to be, if I am elected, to be the vice chair? So in other words, you were running as a team. Is that how you did it? Or it was just individuals and let the chips fall where they may?
As for us, we just ran for individuals. Some persons ran as teams, but I can speak for myself. I ran as an individual. Quinton would have run as an individual because in the first 3 elections that we had, it was more team-oriented, and we realized that some key persons may have lost out if people would have bought into the team concept rather than voting for the individual and what they could bring to the table. So we decided that we will all create our personal platforms, present them to the group, and then we will go forward with that. I'll allow Q to give his view on it too, and then I'll just like to come back and piggyback and say 1 or 2 things as to what some negative and positive things that would have taken place if we would have decided the team concept.
Yeah, thank you, Bear. So again, it was all on individually based, and simply because we've seen the pros and cons of what running as a team could have or would have manifested itself to be in previous elections. So we've decided that the best way to go about this was just have everybody enter individually, present their case, present their platform, and what they're going to run on, what their plan is for Roots, what their plan is to change, and things of that sort there. So it proved to be very, very successful for us. And in doing it this way, we're able to get some of the top individuals at the forefront or at the helm of this group to take it forward, even for or to move it from where it is onward. So yeah, that's the way that we do it. Definitely individually based as opposed to team based.
So you said something very interesting just now. So you all actually had rallies then. You had to present your platform and say what.
No, this was real campaigning.
Just say no chop chicken liver. This is the big time.
This was real campaigning, Ms. Nash.
Yes.
It was. Let me tell you. I see what has gone on in the political realm. It doesn't compare to Junkanoo. It doesn't compare to an election for Junkanoo. It gets crazy. You hear me? I mean, there's the attacks, the verbal abuse, one side versus this side. Let me tell you, it's fun. I can't say it's fun because
let me add to what you were saying. It was Ms. Ferguson. I don't know how politicians make it in this country.
No,
because this was a real. This was politics. We have some Darren. We have some chats, and the chats were going. Q can tell you 24/7. I went into a meeting at work on that Thursday before the election, Ms. Ferguson, for 2 hours. And I came out and it was 400 and something messages I had missed.
Man.
So these chats were blazing and some people were getting downright low. And so, but I said to Q and I said to some other people, I'm just going to run on what I've done in the past. If that's not good enough, then so be it. I'll just sit back and take a smaller role in the group, which is fine for me.
Yeah.
But the major thing that they were using against me, and I think I kind of turned it around, Darren, because a lot of the non-Junkanoo things that I do for people in the group, the scholarship thing, the roots cares, helping people with the job platform, helping people fill out forms, helping people renew business license and all those things. So sometimes the good that you do away from the parade, Ms. Ferguson, it helps you. The major thing that was used against me and Q was that we're not builders.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm not a builder of lead costumes. You cannot run an organization.
But that's
but I reversed it.
But actually,
that's old Junkanoo.
But
yes, I was going to say that is fascinating to hear that, because Roots is so progressive administratively that you know, for them to hearken back to an old model that you all actually did away with or started to do away with from you were founded in 1991. And so, you know, those are the old days when the person who could build the most or build the best was the leader. But Junkanoo moved way past that. I mean, even in one family, Hubert Chipman was the first chairman.
Exactly.
One example.
And we would have given them some examples, but I guess it didn't work. But this is my thing. I turned it around, and this is what I said in my campaigning. I cannot build a lead, but I can build an organization, and I can help.
We got them.
Building lives, I can get anybody to build for me or build for this group. I won't make it personal. So that's my purpose outside of this whole thing, is to build lives and build this organization, because at the end of the day, the major parades are 2 days.
Yes, beautiful.
You got 360 something more days to live.
Yeah.
So I will allow you now on this. I allow you to go into just briefly give them an example of what we're planning for the Atlantis. Thank you.
That's a great segue, Bear. Thank you so much for that. What we have embraced in our group now is way beyond Bay. So like Bear would have mentioned, Junkanoo is 2 days, even though it's 365 days of work. You're gearing up for 2 days a year, which means it leaves another 363 days that you have to kind of figure it out, right? So what we have done, first of its sort, first of its kind, so we're, like you would have said earlier, we have always been a progressive group and willing to take the chance and be pioneering. So we've just recently partnered with Atlantis, who is our major sponsor for the last how many years, which we're grateful for. So what we've just done, we've just partnered on a contract with Atlantis that we'll create this Junkanoo in Paradise resident cultural show.
Wow.
Which will run 4 to 5 nights a week, starting in April. So we'll go from some point in April all the way to September or so. And it will be available for guests or tourists, as well as locals to come and see.
Beautiful.
And we have partnered with individuals like Mr. Fred Ferguson, and a few others like a Ricardo Christie from a choreography standpoint. And the list goes on and on. Really top-notch people, Bahamian people, to this cultural show. I mean, in a hotelier for so many years, traveled the world, been all over the world to do all of these different openings and things of that sort there. And even at Atlantis, 18 years, the one thing we did not have at this major hotel icon was a cultural show.
Yeah. Hey, Q, give them the number of persons that this show would employ.
That's going to be my next question. You're providing employment.
We're providing employment, and we look like we're going to close to 100 persons will be employed. So everybody from backline to dancers to storytellers to fire dancers to limbos, you name it. We have this is the creme de la creme.
This is bigger than big.
This is way beyond the big. So again, so we're not here to just kind of prepare for 2 days of work. We're trying to create. We're trying to create homes. We're trying to create families. We're trying to uplift. We are here to win, Darren. Okay?
Absolutely. Oh, that is phenomenal. And you know, that really throws down the gauntlet for other sponsors, because a lot of times we deeply appreciate the contribution of all of our sponsors, no matter what the figure is, no matter what the number is. But when you see a sponsor taking a step like this, we know that most sponsors will call the Junkanoo group and say, we have a special group coming in and we need you to rush tonight, kind of thing. It's a 1-1 thing. But now you are talking about an arrangement that provides steady employment for a significant number of young Bahamians, number one. And number two, it is going to showcase our culture on a regular basis. That, I mean, we congratulate them. That is absolutely groundbreaking, and we really congratulate them for that step. Now, my next question is, does that in any way impact the weekly Junkanoo that's held in Marina Village?
It has nothing to do with it. It just it's a layer to it. So you can for example, the Marina Village Junkanoo Rush is on Wednesday and Friday nights, eh?
Okay.
Can you imagine now going earlier on in the evening and watching this Junkanoo in Paradise show? And you can come right out of the theater and go into the Marina Village, and 15 minutes later, you can be a part of this Junkanoo Rush.
Be participating, absolutely. Beautiful.
And, so we're going to do a little bit more initiatives and programming with Atlantis. We will have the first Junkanoo Shack on Paradise Island, whereas guests alike can now come in, see what it's all about, and kind of taking a cardboard and crepe paper and glue and a small paintbrush and see what you can create from that, you know, and help us based on a couple of lead costumes or a couple of lead pieces and things of that sort there, and be a part of it, you know. So again, way beyond the Bay. We want to take the localness out of Junkanoo and make it out of something even more global than what it is that we're experiencing at this point. And this is that step. This is Roots as well as Atlantis's contribution to make it that Junkanoo to the world, Roots in your belly, Roots in the morning.
Can I just add a piece onto that?
Yes, Duane.
Even with the shack that we have on Bay Street.
Yeah.
It's an old warehouse that we've been using now for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
We've had it renovated. Our secondary sponsor is Bahamas Striping. As of next week, Bahamas Striping is going to create a Junkanoo scene on the floor of that shack.
Nice.
We're going to have an in-house competition with high school students to create Junkanoo pastings on the walls.
Wow.
So what we're doing, we're going to employ about 20 to 30 group members who will be there from sun up to sundown. It's located in the same area where the pirate ship parks locates itself.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do is get to more downtown visitors, people who are walking downtown. We have a lot of taxi drivers within the group who are going to assist us. And we charge a fee like $10, $15, depending on what it is, to allow those persons to come into the shack. So what we've decided this year, after both parades, was to not destroy any of our costumes.
Exactly.
So if you come into our big shack today, you would think Junkanoo is next week.
We're starting tomorrow, yes.
We procured all of the costumes, so we're going to show, like you said, the same concept like Atlantis. You're going to come in, we're going to show you the cardboard and the rods and the glue, and we're going to allow you to sit down and do some pasting. We're going to walk you through, we're going to take you to the back, you see the finished product, and then we have a little quick Junkanoo rush out that takes you out. So we kind of learned one or two things from agriculture.
I was just getting ready to say we've been doing that for 23 years.
Thank you so much for leading the way. So
thank you for the acknowledgement. But Quinton said something that I just want to touch on very quickly. When Quinton said we are going to take the localness out of Junkanoo, I know you did not mean it like that. But my only caution would be to remain authentic and true to Junkanoo. And I say that because we have a tendency as we grow and we become exposed, we start to believe that what we are doing is not good enough. And so we stop calling our buildings shacks, and we are proud of the fact that we start calling them studios, as I have heard some people say. And we start trying to, for want of a better word, we start trying to sanitize Junkanoo and adapt it to an international climate, when what is unique about it is the fact that it is purely Bahamian. So don't lose your accent. Don't use all our Bahamian language. Don't lose nothing authentic. Make sure it's a true Bahamian experience. That's my only prayer.
And on that note, let me say, Ms. Ferguson, that was part of one of the platforms that I had. I said, bridge the gap with old school versus new school Junkanoo, but not losing its purpose and its authenticity. So definitely we want to expand, but we have to make sure teach these younger persons the purpose of Junkanoo and what it was all about. I totally agree with that concept.
We will definitely get to the times and anchor to the rock. And so again, it's not about taking that away. We want to obviously increase the exposure, obviously trying to get it in some of the schools. Like Bear would have said that, you know, the scholarship opportunities that we've made available as a group over the last year, you can expand upon that a little bit more also. And we're looking at adopting a few schools, and kind of getting this to where it needs to be. But definitely we're not about taking it away from its, what I meant to say was just making it even more exposed, or making it even more available to our international, our global clientele. We'll be a more of a part of it. You know, I know one of the greatest things that I would have seen, I think, this past summer, was again our sponsor when we had the Junkanoo, what is that, the Goombay Festival, if I'm not mistaken. Pardon me if it's not the correct terminology.
Junkanoo Summer, the Junkanoo Summer Festival.
To see our sponsor busing their guests from the resort there, free of charge, have a whole bus and transfer system throughout the entire time. It around the hotel. If you want to go and experience what Junkanoo is, we'll arrange the bus and the shuttle service for you. That started as soon as 3 p.m. and last bus left, I want to say Fish Fry, if I'm not mistaken, at 11 p.m. And the buses were full all 4 weeks of it. So to see that, and obviously we're going to sing our sponsors' praises, but I think they definitely have set the standard for what other companies can and should be doing also. Again, enough. I'm not saying that they're not doing enough, but like you know what, let's look at it way beyond Bay, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
There. So, yeah, kudos again to our sponsors, Atlantis. Kudos again to Bahamas Striping and everybody who support Roots.
Incredible.
Sounds like you have a lot of good plans, guys. I had to step out for a second, but I was listening. So
I think you were telling the boys, huh? You were telling those other group.
I thought you had broke off running to fill out your application to apply.
Oh no, First Lady in St. John's, we taught these boys well. So I can take some of the credit for this,
Yeah.
I can take
right on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up on our next break. And DF, why don't you take us into the break, and then we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Boy, I'm learning a lot more than I bargained for.
What is it? Respicate, aspicate, prosticate?
Oh, yes. The past, present, and future.
And the future. All right.
He went there. Wow.
Folks, you're tuned into Junkanoo 242. We got Roots Chairman, newly elected Chairman, and Deputy Chairman. They're sharing the new plans, not only for Roots on Bay, but what's happening off of Bay. Because it's better to be for them. Folks, we're running to our break. When we get back, we hear the rest of the show. We're going to get deeper into what's going on with Junkanoo. Get tuned into Junkanoo 242.
Hey, babe, can you call, no problem. Can you call Ivan?
The Princess Margaret Hospital Blood Bank is in urgent need of blood donations of all types. Blood bank hours of operation are as follows. Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The last donor will be accepted at 4:30 p.m. On Sundays, the blood bank is closed. Identification needed for donation include your NIB card or driver's license. Do not attempt to donate if you are sick or experiencing respiratory symptoms. Do not come to the blood bank in large groups, as we will be accommodating 3 persons at a time. For more information on how you can become a blood donor or instructions on what to do before coming to donate blood, please contact the blood bank at 502-7822.
Saturday evenings will never be the same again. A show for young people, made by young people. The Youth Perspective, where we seek to positively display the youth of our nation. This on every Saturday at 8 p.m. on 1540 AM. Power 104.5 FM, the national voice of the Bahamas. It's for men, about men, by men. It's informative. It's inspiring. It's here on AM 15.
Examples of excellence. Every year on his birthday, December the 26th, Sammy Thompson celebrated on Bay Street doing what he loved best. An intelligent, articulate, and personable young man, Sammy pursued Junkanoo with the same ardor that he pursued his studies. He not only loved Junkanoo, but lived for it. In the 1970s, Sammy became leader of the Music Makers at the tender age of 21. Under his magical direction, the Music Makers won 3 consecutive Boxing Day victories on Bay Street, introducing a full brass line in the process. Sammy's love for Junkanoo and his determination and dedication carried him and the Music Makers to Bay Street every year, despite the lack of sponsorship. The Junkanoo community has always saluted this Junkanoo giant and will always remember his outstanding contribution. Sammy Thompson, this week's posthumous inductee into the Junkanoo 242 Shack of Excellence.
Wow, no, that's a legend in Junkanoo. Sammy Thompson, music.
Music makers, yes, sir.
Amen.
Welcome
Ain't
back.
they your old people?
Welcome back. You're listening to Junkanoo 242. It's the second lap. This morning we're talking to the new chairman and the deputy chairman of Roots Junkanoo organization, Mr. Duane Ellis and Mr. Quinton Brennen. They were getting into some of the plans that these guys have to roll out for this organization in terms of extending the reach of Roots outside of the Junkanoo parades, but providing employment and, in essence, actually creating a Junkanoo industry in terms of performances and even a show, shack visits, stuff like that. My question to you guys is, going through that electoral process and actually setting up this administration and rolling out these plans, why do you guys feel that this is so important for Junkanoo organizations to be doing such a thing?
To be doing what? The elections or to be doing
whole
the show?
process of what they're doing. I mean, one is election because as it stands right now, there's some Junkanoo organizations that has a problem with having elections. That's number one. Why do they feel like that electoral process is, is relevant? One, but also two, rolling out the plans outside of Bay Street and Junkanoo. Why are these things important for your organization?
Darren, well, about 10 years ago, the issue came up in a meeting by one or two of the members that only a few persons are making the vital decisions for the group, which I think is the purpose of the ESB. But I made a statement to somebody the other day. I said, I think Junkanoo is probably the only organization in this country where a custodial worker leads a lawyer and a doctor and a preacher and a teacher.
Yes.
We ain't got no barriers.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I may be making $1 billion and the fellow on the side be making minimum wage, but he may be my section leader. So
That's
when
right.
I line up and fall in line, I got to fall in line.
Right away.
So it was the brainchild of Guts. Guts said, you know what? Let's try this election thing, one man, one vote. Now, initially, we had some times when we decided maybe this is not the way to go. But since then, we have seen the fire within the organization. And like you said, we have seen the downside. Some people have gotten into, real election mode. People were getting personal. People were saying things. People were throwing jabs. 2 o'clock, you wake up in the morning, you got 600 messages unread. People saying this one outside with the singing the next thing. So we ain't gonna get that deep to tell you some of the things.
Yeah, but between us two fellas, as we talk about this election, between us two fellas, you would print any t-shirts?
Hey, Ali, that ain't my question.
They print no t-shirts this election, but last elections they had t-shirts. They had slogans and everything.
Think we joking?
Ali, I saw some of the election flyers. The very essential. I want to know. I want to know how much fridge and stove you buy.
How they spell the bear?
B-E-A-R.
Very essential.
That is brilliant.
I buy the fridge and stove, but I buy the little can. What they call it, the gas can. I buy plenty of them.
Plenty boutique. Plenty boutique and gas.
No, but to be serious about it, I think you will agree with me, and some of the persons in the organization will agree that we may not do away with it, which I don't think we will, but it's some things we have to change because we allowed some persons to get to open in the chats and started to target people with some nasty stuff, and there's no need for that in Junkanoo. Ain't no need for that.
We can't have that. No.
So at the end of the day, either we hold hands and move on. Now, I just wanted to say quickly, these were some of the platforms that we presented to the group. We spoke about shack security, shack safety. We've already started to upgrade the shacks. We now have running water in the shacks where females don't have to leave to go home to come back to use the bathrooms.
Wow.
We have male and female bathrooms. The bathrooms are working. We spoke about the scholarship program, which basically I've started like about 10 years ago. We give 2 a year. This year we got some additional funding. So we were able to give like about 12. Majority of them would have been in Showtime and some other people.
12 scholarships to where? UB?
Most of them are at UB, and about 4 of them are overseas. They only range between $250 to $500, but like we said, it was a start.
Every
and
little
this
bit
year
helps.
we're going to go down to 2 persons, where we're going to give $5,000 to 2 persons.
Beautiful.
We talk about job opportunities. Most people have already spoke about that. We have a lot of seminars and different things that we have coming up. The Roots Cares. We're also continuing that program. That was the program we started during COVID for persons who would have lost their jobs and persons who would not have had food items and what have you. We had permission from the police, permission from the government. 4 months during COVID, we would decide to take different sections of the island. We split into 4, east, west, north, and south, some of us, and we delivered boxes of food, items, and canned goods to our members every Wednesday for 4 months. You know, and then the final thing is about securing our property. We've already put in, and we've already gotten approval for some land to do the Roots home base. For years, we haven't had a home base.
No, I was just going to say, what do you?
It's moving. So we have midterm, we have long term, we have short goals. Our long goal for the next 3 years is at the end of this term, Roots will have a fixed home. Instead of
beautiful. In what area? What do you consider to be your catchment area mainly?
And that's one of the downsides to us. We have people from everywhere. We were kind of saying Chippenham, Farrington Road area, the West, what have you, but unlike most Junkanoo groups that have a home base, we just have people from everywhere. So that's kind of been a hindrance to us, but we've just been reaching all over the place. And even though we would have gotten the property, we're still looking for buildings within the inner city. Because I think you preach it every week. We still need to have a home base where we could go around communities and have persons in those particular areas. But I just want to say to the Junkanoo world that's listening, I know you've heard the platforms from myself and from Q, but at the end of the day, we are still a Junkanoo organization. And we want to go to Bay Street to win. We have some excellent builders still with us. Like any election, you know, some people would leave, some people would stay, some new people would come. We would like for everybody to stay, but I mean, it is what it is. Some persons decide to leave after whatever. They're going to exactly. Some people said they are gone based on whatever the results. We would like everybody to stay. We like the insurance industry. Aaron can tell you, they don't like to lose no customers. That's like the bank. If you got $1 in the bank, they'll beg you to stay. They'll say, no, Mr. Farrington, we need you. We'll give you a credit card and it's interest-free. Something to capture you. So at the end of the day, we have some good builders. We still have we have a Wendell Francis, Anthony Bain. We got people like a Rat, people like a Rashad Martin, Keith Johnson. We just got a variety of builders. We got a variety of places like the Martins. We got Richard Martin, Robert Martin. You got a Sky Juice King. We still have a variety of people. And at the end of the day, those persons will still have the mandate to get Roots to the road, to get us the victories on Junkanoo. But as far as myself and Q, our strong points is the management side. We're going to get some more funding. We're going to do some more off the Junkanoo activities. But at the end of the day, Roots will be a stronghold when time to line up and when the whistle blows.
Amen.
We will be contenders, trust me.
Bastian, you hear that?
Roots is coming.
Move out the way.
I really like, I honestly like, and I applaud the enthusiasm. No, real talk. You know, and I believe this enthusiasm gives Roots an opportunity to have 2 number ones out the bag for Boston and for New Year's. Let's be very enthusiastic about that, Mr. Ellis. So
now
hold on, Mr. Ellis. Hold on, Mr. Chairman.
You and I know the person that you go to. Don't let me don't reveal the secrets down, Bastian.
Yeah, well, that's the secret society kicking in. I was wondering how long it was.
So, you know, you could draw your number 1 for Boxing Day, your number 1 for New Year's Day. You know, just take it out the bag and y'all just take it. I mean, because...
But guess what? The new Roots ain't scared of one. What we will do for the next 6 parades. We'll ask them to give us one, and you all pick from second onward.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Darren, the nation heard it.
If you want what number we pick, you in for something else. 201. Give us one.
I ain't worried about
Farrington, when we go to JCLP meeting, remind me to ask them to give us next 6 parades, please.
Okay.
So, Duane, speaking of special request, if I may be so bold as to break into the trash talking, Duane, as you mentioned the JCNP, what is your role in the JCNP, and does the election in any way change your role in the JCNP?
No, I'm the sitting assistant treasurer.
Okay.
So that doesn't change anything in terms of what I'm doing as a member of the JCNP. No, ma'am, doesn't.
Okay.
You know why that's an important question, Duane? Because over the last year, there's been a lot of quote unquote attacks against people and their character based on where they sat in particular groups as well as the JCNP. So I just hope that you don't face those same criticisms, so to speak, you know? I
totally agree with you. It's mindsets, Darren. I think we just have to help change the mindsets of Junkanooers for one, and then of the general public is two.
Yeah. And I say this to you and Quinton with the greatest respect. I may don't mind me trash talking sometimes. You guys, you and your team have a wonderful opportunity to do something based on the platform that you have presented. I believe that your vision is properly aligned. I encourage you to keep on going, because there will be challenges, right? There are going to be people in the room who will be the mold, so to speak, right? But keep on pushing, and from my experience, trust me, it can be some dark days, but the light is going to show up. And some people won't see it until they see it done. Remember me telling you that. Some people won't see it until they see it done. Get it done. That's all that matters. Get it done.
Amen.
Now, when it comes to Bay Street, you still got to come see one family, eh?
You have the rights to brag. You have the right to brag for the next couple of weeks.
Weeks?
Darren, tell me, how much weeks did Darren to tell you to the end? You only get
43.
You get
guess what? For 43 weeks, I on my soapbox. You said that's what I on the soapbox. One pound on the soapbox for 43 weeks. No. 43 and then 44 weeks I got this.
Darren. Labor Day, you can see the demise will start Labor Day.
Darren.
Then Roots stripe the road. When you say Roots restripe the road Labor Day, just listen. You don't give him too much information.
I will say this to Darren. No, Darren. There's a song that says, "All I do is win."
Oh,
Ms. Nashburg can say that to you also. She knows me as a winner. I don't know anything else.
Oh yes, Quinton. You know we don't take last.
And that's the same fight that I myself, and supported by my chairman and my ESP and all the 800 million strong Roots members.
Oh, gee.
Would go up on Bay Street with.
That sounds like such propaganda up on you.
But you know, I honestly look forward to the parade, because the camaraderie to me is second to none.
That's right.
The jazz are fine.
Yeah.
Once the spirit is right. You know what I mean?
This is delightful. And this is all part and parcel of us coming from under the cloud of COVID, and it is so wonderful. This was the feeling on Bay Street the last two parades when you were back in the hole.
Yes.
All your people, and there was a fire over there with the drums heating. I mean, I get goosebumps just talking about it. And this really is just a continuation of that. Like you say, Dee, it's the camaraderie. The competition is one thing, but truly, there are people in Junkanoo that Junkanoo would not be the same if they were not there. It does not matter what group they are from, and they are from all groups and individuals. And so, this is just a delightful exchange between you and your friend.
And 3 friends. That's the crazy part. 3 friends and 3 schoolmates.
Plenty green in here, Bella. Plenty green in here.
Hey, all I can tell them is, Holly, I don't want them within arm's reach of me.
Yes.
I don't want them within arm's reach of me.
You only saying that, man.
You
will not want to or try to leave me.
Yeah.
When you know he is come looking for you first and foremost.
Christmas Day.
We can talk his business.
I get the white feather.
Yeah.
What? Christmas Day?
Christmas morning, Darren Barrington. Why you get the white feathers?
So, ladies and gentlemen, on that naughty note, we are going to run to our final break. And when we return, we are going to have the news, and we're going to have the wrap-up, and we're going to hear the final comments from these outstanding young men who have such wonderful plans for their Junkanoo group. We'll be right back.
All I do is win, no matter
You
what.
saw Larry take the money off the teacher's desk.
Yes, Mom.
And you told the teacher.
No, Mom.
Why not?
Because Larry wouldn't want to be my friend no more.
Honey, Larry did something wrong and you need to tell an adult. You may feel bad, but it is important that you do the right thing. Nobody has to find out that you told.
Okay.
Small crimes lead to big crimes. If you see a crime, you can call Crime Stoppers. It's safe and easy, and nobody knows who you are. You'll speak directly to someone in Miami or Toronto, Canada. They never ask anything about you. So be brave and do the right thing. We all need to help. Stop the crime before it's our time.
Guess what, Mommy? I feel good because I told somebody about Larry and the teacher get our money back. So pick up the phone. No one will ever call you a snitch.
Call Crime Stoppers Bahamas today at 328-8477 or from the Family Islands, 242-300-8477. It's safe.
Hey, Bill.
Maybe.
Bill, I got my question. When the port opening back up bus?
Listen to me. You put the porch on the new management. Maybe opening shots.
Yeah? All
Yes,
right.
Darren, we're taking
That's
also.
what? Huh?
We're taking also, Darren.
You taking what?
We're taking applications. We'll carefully continue on.
Big man, big
And
man, big
now,
man.
for the news off the shock wall. Birthday greetings to everyone celebrating at this time. A happy birthday to you and everybody who is celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Darren Farrington will be celebrating the big number 5 tomorrow. A special happy birthday goes out to my little princess. Daddy and Mommy loves you so much. Condolences to everyone that's going to be mourning or is in the process of mourning loved ones at this time. People who are being funeralized or even just remembering the loved ones that you've lost over the past few weeks and months. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you at this time. Remember,
I also want us to send special condolences to the family of Ricky Peanuts Miller, who buried his sister yesterday.
Wow.
So condolences.
We'd like everybody to go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, sign up for the notifications, share the channel, find out you can watch all of the past episodes, the upcoming episodes. You can see them there right on our YouTube channel. A special shout out goes out to EP Roberts, who's going to be celebrating their character and Bahamian Day on March 3rd coming up. That's the same school that Darren's fraternity goes into for mentorship. And they're going to be celebrating their Character Day under the traits of respect and citizenship. We look forward to seeing the videos and the pictures from there. The countdown, it is Saturday, February the 25th. I just got notification that the porch, Bastian is taking applications for new members. So you can sign up, and it's February the 25th.
Darren Vargas, let me speak to this. Let me speak to this porch situation.
Yes.
I don't know who made application for the porch.
Yes.
I know I ain't one of them.
No.
I know I ain't one of them.
No.
I am an executive member of the porch.
February 25th.
Hey, hold on. And the chairman of Bruce can confirm this.
Oh, gee.
Yes, yes.
We are 43 weeks away from baby.
Roots in the morning.
I don't know what these people are on this morning, but I'm so happy, and I want to officially extend congratulations to both of you guys, both of you men in this, ascending to the position. We have known the different positions that you've hold. Quinton being around Junkanoo for such a long time, a lot of people have been discouraged with a lot of things that they may not be happy with. A lot of people are just saying, they've given up. But I want to encourage you guys to keep on pushing the mantle, keep on raising the bar and the standards, because there's some young man, there's some young lady that's following your character and your model. And it's because of what you do in that organization that keeps them to keep on being a better person in life. I always say is that Junkanoo is the biggest agent we have, not only for youth modeling, but also when it comes to character. We're the biggest charity organization that we have in this country. And as you guys are going about doing things, continue to do the work, keep on doing it, and keep on forging forward.
Thank you. Definitely.
Thanks, Darren.
Do you guys have any, see, Bastian even choking up. This like,
So I am just, we had this on national, we heard it from the chairman on national TV, on national radio, firing that, one is out the bag for the next 6 years. Roots got the first out for the next 6 years. I got this recorded.
Yeah.
So the CNP level.
You scared it?
Oh, no, I ain't scared of that, boss. I ain't scared of that.
How could the defendant?
I said I love your enthusiasm, boss.
Straight up.
I hear you talking, big man. I hear you talking. Love the enthusiasm.
Duane, one of the things that always impressed me about Roots through what I would call the lean years, when it took a while to get to the top, to the summit on Bay Street, your group kept increasing in size.
Resilience. That's enough.
Always amazing. What do you attribute that to?
That's the heart of a lion.
The heart of a lion.
That's what you can say about that. That's the heart of a lion.
That's it.
The lion is everybody. The sheep. The ant. The lion. Everybody follow the lion.
I see.
I want to go even further into that, Ms. Ferguson. What we're more than just an organization. We are a family. And
we're all one family. You're absolutely right, bud.
We are a family. He said one family.
We are a family. And if you want me to take that even further, we are not one family. We are the family of families.
Oh, gee. Let them know, Quentin. Let them know.
You've been in St. John's.
Yeah. So, and because of that,
must be.
You hear Bear spoke about when we were in the height of COVID, we got the necessary permissions and the approvals to go ahead and distribute to our members who were in need, who would have lost their jobs, who were not receiving a salary and things of that sort there. And that was not just that of Roots family members. It was you being and in need of. And then fast forward that even a few years later, after COVID, to see what we're doing way beyond the Bay with the scholarships, with creating employment and things of that sort there.
Wow.
So our group is getting bigger, not because of, hey, you know what, Darren, you have every right to boast about standing on your soapbox, right? But at the end of the day, the one thing that will trump all of that is that we will stand atop of the summit at some day based on all it is that we're doing. So you can, but we be atop everything it is that we do and seeing exactly what it is that we're accomplishing as a group, as a family, as an organization. That's
beautiful.
That's why we continue to move. That's why our numbers continue to expand even more so. So this is, go ahead, right there. You do whatever it is that you want to do with that. Top that. Take your soapbox.
Look at us. I see that you're still in campaign mode. You're eloquently waxing him. Right? So I see you still in that mode, right? But you know, let me hit you on some things in one farm. We are a community-based organization as well. So
Chairman, you start in the wrong place. Listen, I thought you were going to say that when it comes to groups, one family started community outreach. I thought you was to start there.
But you ain't let me get there.
All right, sorry, get there.
I am 1 second, Mr. Chairman. One second, Mr. Chairman.
You are last time to talk. We ain't just saying about one family today.
I am giving you a compliment here. I am going to give you a compliment.
Darren,
I'm going to give you a compliment, Mr. Chairman.
We'll talk with them next week.
I am going to give you
Darren, we'll be Saturday, Darren.
My compliment is simply this. I am very happy. I am delighted to see that Roots is finally catching up with one family community service. I'm giving you a compliment.
Thank you.
Chairman, before you leave, let me ask you this question. When it comes to who represents Roots, right? Do your members have to get your permission? Let's say, for the sake of argument, we wanted to invite a Roots member on this show to talk about anything. It could be anything at all. Does the structure insist that they get your permission before they come?
It is not really permission, but just something to run by the ESB. The ESB is there. We do things collectively, but yes, ma'am. Yes. If Johnny, you want to bring Johnny on to speak about choreograph, out of respect, they would let us know that 242 has invited me on to speak about choreograph on behalf of the Roots Junkanoo group, because at the end of the day, you're still representing the organization.
Yes. So as a courtesy, your member would inform you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent.
As it should be.
As it should be, absolutely. And so you young men have been outstanding, and we are very proud of what you have accomplished, and we look to even greater things. It was truly impressive. And I thank both of you for coming. You have an open invitation anytime Roots is doing something and you want the country to know, this is why we are here. And so, gentlemen, any final words before we get put out?
Well, Darren, now I like to close on these notes. It says, Darren, listen to this. We are created for more than existence. We are created to be loved by the Lion of the tribe of Judah, who is Jesus Christ himself.
Amen.
With that being said, we are all lions. Even the ant could be a lion. God bless you all.
And folks, on that note, you're tuning in to Junkanoo 242, where it's all about us and you in the 242. Until we meet again, let everything that we do show that we are all
Proud to be behaving. We'll see you next week.
Roots in the morning.
Roots in the morning.